grand finals of the Kung Fu Cup, number 12 here in 2020. Best of 5, of course, and starting us off in the bottom right-hand side, the red Zerg player will be Dark. And in the top left-hand side, our blue Terran is Dream. This is the best of 5, and it's the grand finals. Dream looking to become the 13th ever player to win a Kung Fu Cup. There's only been 13 players who have won one of these events before. Out of what has been a ton of events, I believe this is actually number 40 overall out of the weekly cups. And there's only been 13 different players to win them. Dark in his finals for the first time for a very long time, in fact, actually. Dark has not been in a finals of these events since 2018. Back in June of 2018, and he doesn't play every single week. Back in 2018, he actually played a lot. And in the early weeks of this year, he actually played a few of them as well, reaching the semi-finals in the first couple of 2020, but was eliminated both times by Kua one week and by Patience the next. And I don't believe he's played since then, or if he has, he played and he was eliminated early, and now playing again. And he makes a good run through all the way to the finals already, and is absolutely going to be your favorite going into this grand final as well, of course, against Dream, who has had a hell of a run today. His run today taking down some strong names as he goes. Zest in the semi-finals, Kua in the round of 8, sort of in the round of 16. You know, it's a run that's actually a really sick section of bracket to come out of, and of course, Dark comes in having beaten Innovation most notably in the round of 8 in a very fun series, but a series in which he didn't look unstoppable. You know, he didn't look unkillable, to say the least. So I'm kind of a believer. I'm kind of a believer in the idea that Dark might be able to that Dream might be able to take a map or so here, but man, you've got to just favor Dark in the overall best of 5, right? Like, he is by far and away gonna be your favorite. Reaper coming around, and a drone and some Zerglings obviously gonna be involved with that Reaper early, but shouldn't be anything too out of the ordinary. Damage on the drone actually means less damage on the Lings, which if you're not gonna get the drone kill, then obviously it's not so great. He comes back in, but you just can't reach it, and just gonna see this Reaper coming back around up this right-hand side. Command center in the natural expansion here from Dream, so getting that up and running. As we will see the Queen coming through, the Reaper taking some shots, pushing that Reaper away a little bit. So not much to be really done there, in all honesty, as we do see Zergling Speed of Dark setting up in the main base. Again, that Link Speed up and running, the Marine of Dream. Going to be patrolling around and trying to see just what it can get up to. A couple extra Hellions on the way out, that Link Speed still coming in. Well, again, a lot of building up right now as we're going to be seeing our... it sounds like there's a Marine somewhere, but I actually have no idea. Oh, there it is. The Marine was across the map. I'm so dumb. I felt like the Marine was firing when I was back on top of the Reaper. I was like, what the hell is going on? Well, just going to see the Roach Roar early in the game from Dark, and that's the sort of thing you might expect a lot of in this series. Dark, you know, when he fights and plays against someone who he's just pretty confident against, it's kind of funny because, you know, he just doesn't shy away from just cheesing and playing aggressively. I think a lot of his logic is, well, if I play aggressively and I get myself in a decent position, I can just win the game and be done quickly. And if I don't just get myself in a decent position, well, I'm still good enough from, you know, to play from a bit behind. It has to be like a complete disaster for this to do, you know, to be so bad for me that I can't, you know, recover. Gonna run by with these Hellions here initially. Dream, I mean, a few slow Zerglings. Now he's going to start getting on top of drones, and he only finds 1 kill. Now the Hellions are going to re-engage through, and he'll get a second, but it's going to be about it. 1 more, I mean, 3 workers for 4 Hellions is obviously not what's needed. So you have that command center dropping down in the main base, and the battle cruiser is building up on the main as well. So getting that battle cruiser up and running, a couple extra Hellions continue to produce. I'm just going to see if the 3rd CC coming in. Well, this BC opener will generally leading towards mech, so we might see a bit of Dark versus mech here, which is obviously very different from what we saw Dark playing earlier in the tournament when we followed him through a ZvT or so. There's the Hellions, a couple of them left alive, of course. Losing the Hellions isn't as bad when you're playing mech because you are producing more Hellions. You're not cutting Hellions to then stop producing racks. And let's deal some damage. Roach already taking some shots. I mean, another couple of Roaches here as well. Obviously, there's pressure from Doc. It's not overly committed. There's, what, 5 Roaches in total? And now he's going to see the BC. So now he's like, well, this isn't so great for me. The BC, though, chasing this Roach is not teleporting across the map at least. So we'll finish this off and now teleport away into the main base. Well, how prepared is Doc? He has 6 queens, but they're not joined up together. He does at least have the battle cruiser. Going to be seeing this teleport in. A few queens able to deal some damage here. There's one queen already going down. Second queen taking some damage on this ramp. And we're going to see the BC taking a lot of damage. Oh, very, very low here in the end as 8 drones going down. The Hellions running by in the third base. There's still Roaches and Lings trying to counterattack too. But drones are dropping all over the place. The Dream is really dealing, I mean, so much damage here. The thing is, the next BC is about to pop up, so defensively at home, you're gonna have a battle cruiser that can realistically defend. I mean, this is looking very, very good here for Dream. So many drones killed. This attack has not done much. This BC actually came back home, so it can defend as long as you don't take a corrosive bile. Needs to stay away from that, obviously a little bit risky, but he's gonna get the job done as... yeah, Doc, this went absolutely horrifically for him. That's not great at all, as we're going to be seeing the Yamato cannon coming up. Spire drops down from Doc in the natural expansion, and we're just going to be seeing the creep still pressing out onto the map a little bit further. Just going to be seeing the Spire is, again, coming through on the natural there. So getting that rolling as we do see the rest of these Hellions setting up. 2 BCs now teleport across, so both of them, I mean, healed back up, prepared. Ready to go. I mean, obviously, they're just going to start harassing again. Spire's not ready yet because Doc built so many Roaches early. It's a good queen count, but the queen count is now going to start dropping very quickly. Unfortunately for Dream, he is... for Doc, sorry, Dream is going to start running out of health on these BCs. He has to stop backing away, but honestly, I mean, look at how many queens have gone down. Now with only 2 queens left, we're going to see the BC continue to target them and... I mean, continue to bring this very close to some kills. He brings a new BC across the map. Oh my god. Doc is in so much trouble. He's going to Yamato 1 queen here. He's going to turn around on the other because he knows he can win this fight. And then he might be able to kill the Spire. And if he kills the Spire, these BCs are going to be fully out of control for the rest of the game. And the Spire is going to go down. Doc, well, that's a cancel. And he is just running around in trouble. Roaches are making their way in towards the third base. As now the 2 BCs on top of this Roach roaring. Dealing a lot of damage over here as well, and that's GG. Our underdog Dream takes map number 1 to start off this best of 5. GG is well played, and that is actually just kind of crazy. As Dream is able to take the second map here between the Terran and the Zerg. In the far right-hand side, down a map in this best of 5 is going to be Doc. There's a few Roaches coming across the map, ran into a BC. Didn't have a good time. The BCs did very well. Then the Hellions came across again, and Doc was once more across the map, and he did absolutely nothing across the map. And Dream was able to do a lot of damage on the third base in the meanwhile. As in the 12 o'clock position, our blue Terran player is Dream. Why do Terran players love this map? Great question. Tons of bases that are very easily accessible as the Terran. It's the sort of map where you can just take every base you want and keep on expanding. Mech's very strong in it, even Bio's very good. Because all of the pushing routes are very just powerful. You know, you don't really have... You can take a forward base and push forwards. You can then take a fourth base kept back, and there's just so few run-by positions for the Zerg. And you're just able to, in the later stages of the game, 5-6 bases, the Zerg really struggles to take extra bases in safe locations. They're all exposed. So the Terran can really push into those positions and just have a fantastic time. So really easy just to sit defensively on this map. Very hard for the Zerg to take fights. Pretty much impossible for the Zerg to ever surround the Terran army unless you're really overstepping your boundaries. So it's just a really good map. You know, mech because of the bases you can get up. Bio because you can just have very strong pushes. Like, you can play either or, really. I actually don't know which one's stronger. When it first came out, I think mech was kind of the go-to on this map because it was like unbeatable. So Overlord across. Moving around the natural expansion. Roach-Roaring of Dark drops into the back of the main base. So gets that started up here, as we will see the couple of Zerglings of Dark making their way out in towards the center of the map. And he's once again gone for an early Roach-Roaring. So this time it is a pull first into that Roach-Roaring. So these Roaches are going to be a lot faster. And Dark looking as though he's going to be sticking to the aggression here once again. So again, going to be seeing the Reaper continuing up to the top. As a couple of Zerglings will continue in and just going to be seeing a Marine already going to be taking some damage. And I mean, that's kind of fine, right? It doesn't matter if you lose this Marine. It actually keeps the Marine alive. What is important for Dark's point of view is that he's actually able to keep this Reaper at home. So Dream hasn't been that far across the map. He saw it was pulled first. But Dream doesn't get to see that it's a Roach-Roaring. But Dream's going to play blindly against this. So already bunkering up very safely. You'll remember Innovation on this map. Dark kind of went gas pool hatch and then didn't go Roach-Roaring against Innovation. Innovation built a bunker very safely high ground. This time he actually does go for the Roaches. And the Reaper sees this now and gets confirmation. Nice little grenade there. Actually chasing down a drone and very nearly getting a kill. It's not bad harassment at all as the Reaper goes down, but Marines being produced, no Hellions in production. And this is already looking really, really good for Dream here in game number 2. This is actually kind of crazy. It's actually really crazy as the army comes across the map. Dark coming all the way across. Just going to be seeing the Medevac, Cyclone, a few extra Marines continue to come into play. And these Ravagers and Roaches continue to set up, and we've seen the Cyclone able to get a lock on Ravager, taking some damage. A couple of corrosive bowels. And these SCVs have to back off. Medevac and Dream going to be coming around, going towards the main base. A couple of Roaches and Ravagers setting up as well in the center. So in the end, Dog doesn't commit to the attack. He says, well, what can I really do? Use this line of sight blocker, and now he gets the Cyclone, which is nice. Now maybe is the time for him to do something, but at the same time, you've got this drop coming across. These Marines in the main. Well, Queen's here to fight this, and for the moment, the Queen's doing all right. Now some drones pulled in to help out. No target fire on the Medevac, which I'm surprised by. As we do see the Queen, he gets one of them, but that's probably about it. Meanwhile, the Roaches and Ravagers coming across. We'll get one of the 2 Cyclones that are out already, and the SCV repair is probably good to save the other one. I mean, a little bit of lift up, drop off micro as well. Obviously a shame to lose one of the Cyclones. It's a cleanup from Dream that puts him into a really good position here in this game number 2. Like a really, really good position. I mean, just a good read from Dream. Honestly, these Roach attacks of, off the gas pool hatch are becoming a bit predictable. But that's when, when you don't do one, obviously, Innovation reacted to it, and, then there was no Hellions on the map initially, etc., and so on and so forth. But, yeah, I mean, obviously this time it's just not really worked out too great in general. Liberator building here from Dream, as we're going to be seeing the extra couple of racks going to be starting to build up. Engineering base in the background, so just moving into this bio play off of what was obviously a Marine heavy opener. This Medevac drop will not do much. I mean, all of these units together might be able to do something. If you're getting like a siege tank down here and you start pushing up this ramp a little bit, try and get something done. Extra gases of Dream in the natural is just going to see a creep team already going down. Thankful siege, and we're just going to be seeing Cyclone and Marines trying to pull back a little bit. Queen's able to pick off one Medevac already, as we see the Roaches taking a lot of damage. This tank is paying for itself right now. It's done some crazy damage here already. The tank's going to maybe get out alive as well, which is really nice. That killed 6 Roaches, I think. So siege tank does a lot, and obviously that forces Dark into extra units to continue defending. Extra units continue defending as he's really struggling on the drone count. He's actually behind on workers, and even now he's just evening out. Dream has a 3rd CC to move out into position very shortly. Again, 1-1 upgrade, stim pack coming through. We're going to be seeing our roach speeds on that roach run. So Dog just stacking up, but he's going to be behind. And there's going to be a push from Dream in like not even 2 minutes, like a minute or so from now, a minute and a half. And that push of Dream is going to be so hard for Dog to hold. It's going to be tanks, 1-1 upgrades, you know, stim and combat shields. And that's going to, I don't know what you actually do as Dog. Like, it's going to be really difficult. You're going to need a really good fight. I mean, yeah. It's pretty tough. You're playing from behind. You played aggressively early. You chose a build and Dream defended it, and now he's been able to take all of the advantages from it. Liberator will be coming around and just trying to get across towards the main base to harass. For the moment, just some Marines taking some position on the map, not bringing the tanks across with him. There's actually more tanks being made. He actually hasn't continued tank production, which I find a little strange. Maybe not 100% sure that this is continued roach play from Dog, so he's not feeling the complete need. Let's just kind of get a few creep tumors already, though, and that obviously gives you position with the rest of the army when it comes across a little bit later on. Again, roaches and ravages just continuing to press into this. The few Marines is going to start coming towards the main base. Spellcrawler is able to deal some damage there, push those medevacs away. A lot more Marines in production as the combat shields is going to be done soon. Now, 2-2 has not started, and there's no armory here. Is this just like a... I mean, it's 8 racks, but usually 8 racks you do going towards 2-2 and you keep on going. But there seems to be zero intention of 2-2 right now, so it feels like this should just be like a big push on the 1-1, trying to end the game. I mean, you're going to have to bring everything across the map very soon then. Because again, you're on an upgrade advantage right now, but obviously it's not going to last forever in this case. It's not going to kind of come around again. Marines pressing through and just going to be seeing the... There's just a couple drops from Marines trying to come in and deal some damage. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, this drop got through as well. Gets a good few Zerglings. You can see the power of +1 attack against no carapace there is 7 drones going down. Plenty of units still to bring across the map as Dreamers. Now, tanks are in siege, and he's going to start pushing forwards. And a lot of drones going down for the moment here. Feeling speed coming up on the Bane Nest as we do see the rest of this Ling Ravager force going through. The Marines continue to press into it. A couple corrosive bars dropping down. I mean, Dream's just coming straight up. Remember, he's been leading this game pretty much since the start. So coming into an aggressive attack like this, if it doesn't work, maybe you're in some trouble. But in general, why would it not work? You're in a great position to set up into this. Tanks being corrosive barred down. I mean, it's just roaches and ravagers headbutting at the moment. You can see our Marines continue to come through. A couple extra Ravagers still being picked away. Some Roaches do make their way towards those tanks and Dream. I mean, he might get pushed back here. His reinforcements coming over. Might even be worth stimming those Marines just to get them here ASAP. He's going to stim them now as they arrive, obviously. Meanwhile, by the way, a drop in the bottom right. 11 drones dead, and Dark is going to be down 0-2 at the start of this grand final. And Dark does not like losing. So I would expect him to pick this up a little bit going into a game 3. Game number 3 of the finals of today's Kung Fu Cup, and this is not going how we expected it to. In the bottom left hand side, our red Zerg player from Dragon Phoenix Gaming is Dark. In the upper right, our blue Terran from Brave Star Gaming is Dream. Dream is up 2-0 in this best of 5 final here today. As we set this up, we get this underway with an Overlord checking around along the bottom side, just checking for those proxy racks. I mean, Dream's got to be feeling pretty good right now. He's having a pretty good time. Dream's been playing well. I mean, the thing is, Dark twice in a row has tried to be, like, aggressive, and, that's been, well, he has been trying to be aggressive, I guess, and it's just not been working. He's been behind from that point ever since in both games, and because of that, the harassment of Dream starts to do a decent job, and it obviously just builds up to the larger push, which at that point, Dark is just not able to deal with the larger push, right? So, Dark, you know, he's doing this to himself. He's the one that's choosing to be aggressive. He's, you know, arguably, some would say, the best player in the world. And he's choosing not to open up in ways which really represent that. He's taking gambles, and he's giving his opponent a chance to really take advantages. So let's see how he does now. You know, with 3 games in a row to win this tournament, it's kind of a big deal. And for Dark as well, for an online cup, this is a pretty decent prize pool, right? For one-day event. $200 first place, $100 second place. Now, I'm pretty sure that... I'm actually pretty sure that the Dark, part of Dragon Phoenix Gaming's contract is that they promote him to play in these events. So they actually... I heard this a little while ago, so I'm not sure how true it is, but I'm pretty sure they boost his prize money in these events because they've got to deal with the organizers, where if their players place, they'll kind of like they'll basically push their players to play in these events, basically, right? So I'm pretty sure if Dark wins this, there's a difference of not just $200 to $100, but like $400 versus $200. Now, don't get me wrong, walking away with $200 is nice, but win 3 more maps and you've got $200 more, you know, I'd take that as well. And, you know, obviously, I mean, need I say more, as we do see the Hellion and the Reaper coming down the bottom side. Is Dream teamless? No, Dream is part of Bravestar Gaming. He plays in the Gold Series Team Championship for them, alongside Hurricane. And Bravestar Gaming actually just made a brand new pickup, by the way. Scarlet has just joined their team. So Scarlet, Dream, Hurricane, and Cyan is their lineup. So yeah, pretty good team, and definitely want to watch out for in the team championship. The Hellions pulling away from a few of these Zerglings out on the left-hand side. Battlecruiser building a Dream in the main. Lair on the way up, about halfway done as well already. I'm just going to be seeing the couple extra Hellions just in towards the center, so taking that watchtower, and the rest of these other Hellions coming back around the top. Fatal Nest is dropping down from Dark in the natural expansion, so getting that up and ready to go. Fatal Nest coming through. The lair in the main base going to be finishing shortly. A couple extra queens coming into play. And Dream even this time going to go for the armory. So this is not just the BC that's going to teleport across the map. It's going to be the BC and Hellbats morphing in. Now, there are going to be Banelings ready to deal with that. But I don't think Dark just yet knows about the fact that this is a BC. And as he plays Ling Bane as the opening, when he realized the BC late, he might just play Ling Bane Muta. And that's something we have seen against Mech from a few players, including Sue lately. So it's not an impossible idea. It definitely doesn't sound like something that should work. But, well, right now, Dark actually needs to defend this. And the Italians are about to morph into Hellbats. The BC already teleports across. And Dark just wasn't ready. Well, there's the Baneling. So he does have a few of them, like I mentioned. And those Banes connected in. A couple of new Hellbats showing up as well. Now the BC is taking a lot of damage and has to back away. It can just park itself here just out of range of the Spore and deal some damage on the third. I mean, Hellbats continue their way across to the natural, and this is already Dream once more, putting himself into a fantastic spot here. These Zerglings running through, and the Hellbats are going to be able to continue doing very well as the Zerglings run into this, obviously. I mean, they just continue to trade very well in this scenario. Approaching the mineral line basically means that you're going to be able to force drones away, which means lost mining time for the Zerg, which is also kind of a Dream scenario from the Terran's point of view. The more you can slow that down, the better here, as we're going to be seeing those queens able to clean up in the end. And the third hatchery from Dark actually took a real beating from that battlecruiser, which did fly away, which is still alive. Resources lost 2,600 to the 1,500, so it's been a really good opening for a third game in the row from Dream. Really well done. This is actually Dream's just kind of playing like a monster right now. Like, he's making Dark look kind of a bit silly. I mean, again, in game 1 and 2, I kind of feel like, okay, Dark kind of brought it on himself, but this time Dark didn't have the scouting information. Oh my god, second BC teleports back across the map. And, well, we kind of saw this in the last game, right? Now, this time the BCs don't have Yamato and they don't have it on the way, but he does cancel the Spire. And canceling the Spire itself is obviously a pretty great play. These queens just getting targeted down one at a time. One of these BCs is going to die. I think Dream's just committed himself to that fact. He really wants to just try and clean out every single queen. The thing is, if you clean out all the queens, the rest of the BCs that end up coming across the map are going to do great as well. Especially when you've delayed the Spire like this. So it's another game where Dream is going to have a fantastic setup. He's going to kill the BC, and now he's going to start killing drones because there's no anti-air here. Okay, one new queen shows up. I mean, this BC is going to turn and start chasing that down. Now, BC actually needs to win this fight. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to get away with it. In fact, he might not get away with this BC anyways, which is a shame, remember. Losing one BC, it's very expensive. Losing two, even more so. It looks like he'll just get away to the upper right. We'll then counterattack onto the third base, and we don't see much over here because the Hellions actually across the map harassing as well. So these SCVs have to go running. There's a Cyclone and a couple more Hellions spawning eventually. I mean, obviously these Hellions out of position, so a little bit of counter damage done from Dark. It's the sort of thing he needs to be getting done as the Cyclone. But the lock-on BC comes in. Overseer will go down. Rotoron sets up from Dark in the natural expansion. We do see the Creep of Dark continue to push out onto the map, so continuing to come out the front here. Dark is, well, currently a little bit supply blocked, so it's obviously not looking too great. Rotoron is on the way, so obviously that's going to help to solidify against this ground army, but Dark is finally on the Spire. He's got money in the bank. 12 Mutalisks will be the play, so he's going to go for what I'd call kind of the... It's a bit more of a, like, a play. You know, usually you see Corruptors, but he needs more than just Corruptors pushing back the BCs. He needs the Mutas to deal damage and push the BCs back and go across the map and deal some harassing damage. Help him clean up armies. So Dark's going to play a bit of a riskier style at the chance of maybe it being a way for him to bring himself back into this. I think if you just go Corruptors, they're not going to do much than deflect BCs, right? They're kind of slow. There's not much harassment. I mean, Caustic Spray is very limited in what it can achieve, of course. Queen's coming forwards, and the hatchery is, well, locked onto. It's going to go down. Oh my god, lose the hatchery. Not even a cancel here. Dark, supply blocked again. BCs fly into the natural expansion, and they're going to start killing drones as all of these queens are just trading out with Hellbats. I mean, Jim's like, sure, you know what? You do that. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to do a lot with these BCs. At the same time, Mutas arrive across the map, so this is Dark's opportunity. While Dream has very limited anti-air. I mean, these Mutas are going to kill pretty much a mineral line. These BCs not at home to help out. And these BCs, they do have teleports to get back home if it feels like that will help. Queen's actually fighting a BC on the third base as well. This one was just wandering across the map itself, and oh my god, Dark stops moving command. I'm not sure he would have killed the BC, but moving commanding through the BC fire is not exactly too useful. A few Corruptors made, which means the Mutas can stay across the map. A couple of Widow Mines coming through. He's going to dive in for Cyclones. Obviously, Dream looking elsewhere in that moment. BC's in the end teleport home though, and 14 drones died, 21 SCVs. Another BC teleports in. Obviously, once you've teleported home, you can't teleport away again. I'm surprised the Mutas didn't kind of want to go for it. Maybe they did, just felt it really wasn't a good fight. The Mutalist count is actually already way down from where it was. Only 6 Mutas remain, so half of them have died. And this is Dream in full control, it feels like, of a game 3. What a series the result that is for Dream if he 3-0s Dark. That's kind of crazy. Hellions and Cyclones back around the top. We still see Mutalisks and a couple Corruptors in the upper left-hand side. Battle Cruisers still making their way down to the south here. Mutalisks coming in. A couple of Hellions take some shots. Battle Cruisers very quickly there to push the Mutalisks and Corruptors away. Dream has got a 3-base Dark on his hands. Dark trying to get that 4th base up and running. It's not going to be easily done, as he has to rebuild the Spire again. And the BCs show up, and the thing is, they can just drop some Yamatos and get out of here, of course. So, not really too worried for Dark. For Dream here, he's just going to drop a couple Yamatos. This one doesn't have a Yamato. It does. He's just messed it up a little bit, and he actually teleported late as well. So, a little bit funky. He's going to try and get a couple extra kills. Now he'll just teleport away together. A little Bane Burst on this top side, but there's no follow-up to it, so these Lings don't even get in, and Well, in the end, it's just wasted units as well. Roaches down the bottom left. The Hellion will be picked off, and it's going to be seen +2 vehicle plane, +1 vehicle weapons continue to come on in. And Roach Army comes out up the left-hand side, and Dream on, you know, good supply here overall, right? Again, still leading in supply, playing mech against the Zerg. It's one of those scenarios where you just don't want to rush into this too quickly, because that can obviously put you into a little bit of trouble. As you do see the Roaches and Lings, Ravages as well, out over the right-hand side. These Hellions of Dream continuing around as well, now plenty of Cyclones across the far left, as Zerglon 2 being picked off here and there. This Queen getting chased away as the Roaches do want to start coming forwards, and the Cyclones and some good lock-ons. The Lings coming in from the top side are going to be able to block and help to clean up. So the Cyclones go down, the Hellions picked away at. Just going to be seeing the double BCs looking to fly in towards the natural here as the Hellions are going to be continuing to run away. The Zerglings continue to go down. So all those going to be cleaned out as the BCs just teleport away again, low HP. I mean, from Dream's point of view, just keep running a few units of Dark here and there and try and make it difficult for him to tech up into an army that can really fight. +3 vehicle planes still coming in also. Angelus then will drop down to the third base again, the south base coming online. The thing is, what happens with the mech here is, while the mech doesn't want to keep on pushing, like super committing to attacks, you're able to get the fourth base so easily here as Dream that now the fifth base comes very easily too. And so that's your advantage from having won the early game, basically. So I'm going to see the few Hellions down the left. Isn't mech easy to deal with? Just Knight of Swarm Host for the win? No, not at all. Maybe like back a little while ago, but nowadays, if you go like against mech early, you can go into Swarm Host, but it doesn't usually end the game. It keeps the Terran player busy, but usually you have to transition because the mech armies, they figured out how to fight Swarm Hosts and Niduses, etc. So, and especially it doesn't work when you're behind. It's really a composition which, if the Terran royally screws up, then yes, it can end the game, but like realistically, it's just buying yourself time, even more time than usual, to set up into an army comp that you think can actually fight the mech player. Lots of Cyclones and Hellions around the left side, of course, there's Mobile Force. Dark just lost 17 drones, some Hellion run-bys, BCs flying in and teleporting out once again. The drone count just continued to go down. How did 20 workers just die? I showed it on the screen. Those Hellions and Mineral Lines doing quite a bit of damage. Those Hellions and Mineral Lines once again. Again, these are very much so units you can throw away as Dream as he rebuilds. Look at this. He's already building 5 Thors at a time. The thing is with the Thors is that typically if you can get to a position where you can just build up a mass Thor army, you're really, really set as the Terran. The fact he's already been able to do that without the threat of Brood Lords should really tell you what sort of position this should be, as we're just going to be seeing the Ling Ravager coming around in the right-hand side. And starting to run into this. The Cyclone's doing a good job of cleaning up. Just going to see the Infestors dropping a fungal growth, and already all Cyclones being picked away at. Hellions run by the bottom side once again. Is just going to be seeing drones going down en masse. A lot of work is being killed. These Hellions continue to get picked off, and again this army of Dream around this right side. Cyclone's able to get a lock on, make that a second. He gets an Infestor out of this as well. This is the push from Dream that's terrifying, especially because look at Dream's bank. 2.5k, 1.5k. He's got so much he can do here. As the BC is stopped to Yamato and they will get Corrosive Bar down. Well, again, Dream has the money to rebuild, and he probably won't rebuild BCs, but he can use that supply elsewhere. Two Vipers, a couple of Infestors. I mean, it's going to have to be a mix of Abduct / Neurals to help out against this. As Dark has this big push coming in. Ravages around this bottom side. Corrosive Bowels will start to come down alongside Blinding Clouds. Yeah, the Infestors on the top, but he actually sees them with the scan, so he's going to kill both the Infestors. Oh my god. It's so sad. The first one just about to cast a Neural Parasite. Second one never even got the chance to. These Thors don't do great pushing up this ramp. They're pretty slow, so the Corrosive Bowels hold them off for a while. And Lurkers are now out. We saw the Lurker done a long time ago from Dark, and it never really came into play. But now he's got a couple of Lurkers. Well, does he have enough? The thing is, you actually only have 2 on the map, so there's only so many places you can run them to. And right now, they're defending the high ground. So the low ground is obviously still just in a lot of trouble. So continue to press in. Cyclone's getting the lock-ons, picking up some kills. Dream doesn't even lose the lock-ons there as Dark re-engaged back in so quickly. And man, look at it. I mean, 5 bases, 6 and 7 base building already for our Terran play. He's got a rack spotting down in the bottom right. These 3 Corruptors are, well, very much so units which won't do much here. And they start to get shot down. Now the Thors will turn to fight the Roach Ravager army, which is definitely the bigger threat at the moment. Corruptors are flying around in the skies won't really have much to add for the foreseeable future. Ravager's still in the 6 o'clock. Cyclones around here as well, and a bunch of creep tumors continuing to go down. With all of these CCs building, the extra couple of starports going through Dark. Can he somehow fight his way back from what is a horrific position to deal with? There's another Hellion run by, goes in towards the natural expansion. A few extra drones continue to drop. I'm just going to be seeing the, again, work count continue to fall here. Extra starports still coming into play. Now we've got the Ravagers and Vipers pressing forwards too. Electro Ravagers going down. 10 drones picked off. Lurkers already in position. The Cyclone's getting some lock-ons and the Thor's coming in. Overlord's being picked off as well already. And you're going to see a couple of Corrosive Bowels dropping down here in Dream. I mean, these few Mutalisks are just doing nothing at all. The Thors continue to get kill after kill, and Dark is on the ropes. He's about to get 3-0'd in this final by Dream. I mean, anybody want to predict that one? Lurker's still somewhat of an issue. Viper's getting him ducked off. A couple of Liberators coming into play to help against those Lurkers as well. Like this, the Thor's actually able to get into the natural and start dealing damage here. Lurker's not in position, relocating, and now the Cyclones have lock-ons, and the Lurkers, well, they will go down, so no Lurkers left. Oh, sorry, there's actually 4 more in the background I didn't see. At the same time, the Thors are continuing to push on through. Continue to do a good job of this. The Lurkers push away this army as well. 97 drones dead in the game. He's going to be seeing the Hydras coming around. I mean, these Thors are actually just so difficult to kill themselves. I mean, you're going to get them because a couple of them are very low HP, but even then, there's one which still doesn't go down. Cyclone's starting to reinforce it as a little army over here got picked off. But again, Dream has so much money to rebuild with. 2.5k, 1k in the bank. He's actually starting to build BCs again because he's just picked off all the Corruptors and Mutalisks, and there's no anti-air to really deal with battlecruisers. He's actually able to build 2 at a time, so... And this Thor, by the way, 19 kills, was just unkillable across the map. As Lurker's trying to fire onto that siege tank, will not get it just yet, though. And he knows these tanks, these Lurkers are down here, so he's getting a couple of Cyclone lock-ons. The thing is, you can kind of spread it out and just kind of fight these, right? Like, you know, once you're not taking the splash damage to the Lurkers, they do good damage, but that's not like unusable, you know, it's not like, you know, unmanageable amounts of damage that you take. Kills the bottom side hatchery. Dark takes another big hit to the economy that just doesn't seem to end. Viper's locked onto, a couple more shots there. Still seeing Hydras and Infestors. Out to this right side, a bit of army into the center, and these Cyclones taking a little bit of damage too. A couple Hydras coming over, and more BCs being brought up again. It's just, there's so many things happening here that's going wrong for Dark that in the end you're going to see Dream just... One fight's just going to break Dark that little bit further than the rest, and he's just going to fall apart. And he needs such a turnaround here to get back in this. You know, Dream's doing the right thing, continuing to expand around the map. Look at this, complete disrespect. He's just going to take an orbital command to this base. I mean, this is just like a complete, like, you know what, Dark, you are so dead. Not even going to waste my money on a planetary fortress. Like, What a just crazy. You guys want to see the income graph? Why? I mean, Dream's obviously been mining tons more for the entire game. I mean, there's been moments where it evens out a bit, but like the game has been completely one-sided in Dream's favor, of course. I mean, it's fun to watch because, you know, Dark's not dead. So he's like, you know, he's holding. So it's like, you know, maybe we're waiting for that Dark magic to get like a turnaround here. This year's now he's still relying so much so on a ground army. I mean, there's 4 battle cruisers. Yamato's available. The anti-air is going to be neuroparasites. Like, that's got to be the goal. To neuroparasite these BCs. And then get the Hydras underneath. I mean, Hydras themselves, well, actually, the Abducts work as well. He's going to Yamato or try to Yamato the couple of Infestors. That actually goes okay for him. He's going to be seeing the BCs in some trouble. The thing is, while you deal with these BCs, the ground army then is still having a good time. It's like one or the other. You can deal with the BCs well, but if you deal with the BCs well, the ground army overwhelms. If you deal with the ground army, the battle cruisers are going to overwhelm. I mean, now Zerglin's running into this. BC's teleporting in on top of the army, and that's how Dream is going to take Game 3 in the Grand Finals. 3-0 for Dream to win this out and take this home. He is the 13th ever different Kung Fu Cup champion. His first ever Kung Fu Cup victory. And what a way to do it. He went back-to-back finals at the end of 2019, and since then he's been in the semifinals a whole bunch, but not making it through elsewhere. And this was his third ever finals, and now he's first ever Kung Fu Cup victory. Congrats to Dream. 3-0 for him. Very, very nicely done to take down Dark.